It's Pete Cohen here. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how you're only one habit away from changing your life. This is a subject I know a lot about. This is habit busting. Who's this written by? Pete Cohen. This is Atomic Habits by James Clear. Let me show you how you're only one habit away from changing your life forever. So what is the one habit that will change your life forever? Well, there's actually two, but bear with me because over the next few minutes, I definitely want to help you break the habits that are holding you back and install the habits of success. Habits is a subject that so many people are interested in. I've been interested in this subject for so long. In fact, I wrote this book in 2003 called Habit Busting. This was actually published in multiple languages around the world. But since then, there have been some other great books that have been written on the subject of habits. Charles Duhigg's book, or the Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is a subject that so many people are interested in because we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, it's not an act, like a one act. Excellence is a lifestyle. Excellence is a habit. And what is a habit? Well, apart from being something that nuns wear, if you look at what the word means, a habit is something that part of our brain does for us. Why does it do it for us? Because we have practiced doing it. And the habit that we really need to become aware of is the habits that we have. How many do we have? Well, if you made a list, you'd probably realize, wow, I do a lot of things. And how many of those things am I doing consciously? Most of them are done through the programming. We made a video with Bob Proctor talking about the paradigms that we have, which he refers to as the programming. The programming, just like a computer, we have been programmed. And how many of the habits do you have that are actually serving you, that are moving you in the direction that you want to go? Now, we know from the many YouTube videos that we've done that most people do not have a compelling relationship to their future self. So it's absolutely essential when we look at what's the one habit that is going to change your life. It is the habit of compounding, the habit of aggregating. And I'm going to say this again. I have said this before. It's the magic penny story. If I said to you, look, I'll give you £5 million in cash or dollars, whatever currency you want, I'll give it to you right now. Or I'll give you 1p a day and I'll double that every day for 31 days. Which one of those would you want? Now, most people, if you only had like 5 seconds to answer, most people probably go 5 million, unless you're one of those very few people around the world that knows about the law of compounding. Because if you took the magic penny, yes, after a few days, you wouldn't have very much. After 20 days, you'd only have about 5,000. But after 31 days, what would you have? See, most people don't get to that point because they give up. Why? Because they don't see the results they're looking for. But if you kept going, this is why. The number one habit, without a doubt, that we all need is the compounding. Because over 31 days, guess what? You'd have close to 11 million. That is where the magic actually is. Look, we know that there are gaps between where we are and where we want to go. The number one habit is definitely compounding and then starting one thing that would move you in the direction you want to go and then stopping one thing, because it's all very well talking about these are the things we need to start doing. Yes, if you're going to start something, I would really encourage you to stop something as well. That's why we created an app to specifically help people on the epic adventure of becoming more. Look, we've said many, many things here, right? So you might want to change your life, right? But why? Why on earth would you want to do it? What would be in it for you? See, everything we do is for an outcome. Everything we do is for an aim. It's for an end. That's what we are. We are what the Greeks called teleological. Look, if you went to a game of football and you sat there and the crowd were going crazy and then you just look around and thought, hang on, there's something missing. And what was missing were there were no goals. How long would you watch the game for and think, what is the point of this? So it's not that we lose sight of bigger goals. I just think we get nearsighted by things which take our attention away from what is really important. And I've said many things in my life, but what I want to say to you right now is, if you want to change your life, many of the things that you would want to start doing or stop doing to apply the compounding effect, most of those things are really boring, mundane, unsexy, and they don't just fill you up with, yeah. And it is the mundane that over an extended period of time leads to the sublime. When you look at what any great human being has done, it is because, it's not just because they had a really big why, but they had an even bigger who. They knew where they wanted to go. They knew who the person was that they actually wanted to be. We've talked about this with Gandhi, who said, be the change that you want to see in the world. We talked about this with Mr. Beast, the most successful YouTuber in the world at the moment, with what? 89 million followers around the world. He knew who he needed to be. He made those 4 videos of him in the future, talking to his future self in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, in 10 years. And when that video that was scheduled, that came out after 5 years of him making it, he had over 40 million followers. Follow that another year, he's got close to 90 million followers. How did he do that? He knew who he needed to be. But the challenge with all of this is that as we get older, and it's estimated by the time we're 35 years old, 95% of who we are is just a set of conditioned responses and thoughts and feelings, and we don't want to change. And if that's true, that 95% of who you are is who you think you need to be, you're going to meet with some resistance to that change. It's absolutely essential that you identify with the person that you want to be, because once you identify with that, it's easier to apply the law of compounding. The word identity, which is something that we talk about, is your state of beingness. So you identify with who you think you are, and every single day you repeat who you think you are, and all you show the world is who you've practiced being. But what got you here, it's not going to get you there. I mean, why are you watching this video, right? You're watching this video because you must be interested in closing the gaps and achieving more. So we have to apply the laws of future casting, which is casting out your imagination to go beyond a week and a month, 6 months into the future, a year into the future, and start to build a compelling relationship with that person. Because that is where you will create a new personal reality by creating a new personality. You don't have to be who you were in the past. But this is so important. As someone who's worked extensively in the field of sports psychology and worked with many Olympic athletes, I can tell you that these people have a compelling relationship to the person they want to be, and then they have an incentive. They have empathy with that person to invest every single day in what they need to start doing, what they need to stop doing. Because many of us are anchored in our habits that don't serve us. So the question is, are you ready? This is why we created our app, because we want to help people track. And as people start to behave in their starts and stops, we reward people with coins. So every time you start something and you do it every day, we give you a coin. Every time you stop something and we give you a coin. And over time you start to see what we call identity capital. Look, we know that everything we do today is a vote for the person that we want to become. And the greatest vote you can give is make the decision on who that person is and start compounding every single day, especially when you don't feel like it, and see the return on your investment. What will be your greatest ever achievement in your life? Could it be the person that you choose to become? Mind. This is what we are with our YouTube channel. Everything we do is about mind. My intentions now delivered. Don't be one of those millions of people all over the world that start things with great intentions. Now is the time to deliver on your intentions. And let's get this space rocket, which is what this is supposed to be. You've probably heard of the story of the amount of energy that it takes to get a space rocket off the ground. It consumes most of its energy to get off the ground, but it's pulling away from the forces of gravity. And most of us are being anchored into our old habits, which are holding us down. It's now time for us to look at the world with a fresh pair of eyes and go to a place that we've not gone before. I would really encourage you to go and have a look at our My365 app. It was created specifically, as I said, to help people get some momentum and go chase down, go and pursue the person that they could be as you apply the number one habit of all habits, which is to compound on the things that will move you forwards and compound on the stopping of things that are not going to let you achieve the life that you want. Also with the app, there's coaching, there's classes, there's ongoing content to help you be on your A game. I'd love you, if you get involved in this, to see me as your coach. What does a coach do? A coach helps someone goes from where they are to where they want to be. So where do you want to be? The sky is 100% the limit. Thank you so much for watching. Click on the link in the description and go and check out the My365 app. It's free for the first few weeks and it will really help you go track your future self down. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.